Gotta stay at this
we
pace.
good. Come on
We
now.
just gotta stay at this
Come on, little boy,
pace.
you got this, man.
Come on, Curly. Come on, Curly. It's just you and me. Come on. Come on, Curly.
Eyes up.
Come on, Curly.
Come on, young.
Come on, Curly. Come on. Come on, Curly. Come on.
You got it.
Warning, number 7.
Get
Third
up.
warning.
Get up, kid!
Get up, youngin. Get up.
Oh, it ain't fair! No, it ain't fair! It ain't fucking fair!
Tonight we're talking The Long Walk. Stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you tuning in for another brand new review. Tonight in movie reviews, we are taking a look finally at The Long Walk. And I know, y'all, I've been talking about this one for a long time, and I finally got a chance to get around and see it. I am so excited to discuss this one with y'all tonight. It's always fun to get to talk some Stephen King here. But before we get into that, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, no matter where you are tuning in for this brand new review. We got a lot of great content on the channel right now, a lot of really good stuff coming up for you here over the next couple weeks as well too, including looks at the season premiere of Welcome to Derry, the season premiere of the Talamasca, as well as we're going to get reviews for Queens of the Dam, as well as Street Trash and the original Toxic Avengers. So a lot of stuff coming up to finish off October and the Halloween season for you. Don't want you to miss it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. But let's not waste any more time and jump right on into things here with The Long Walk. Now, if you have not seen the trailer for this one before, The Long Walk is the dystopian story about 50 teenage boys who must participate in a deadly annual walking contest in a totalitarian future America. The boys must maintain a minimum pace of 3 miles per hour, and those who receive 3 warnings for slowing down are shot and killed by soldiers. The story follows a participant named Ray Garrity as he forms bonds and experiences the psychological and physical toll of the competition, which continues until only one survivor remains. And there it is, folks. That is The Long Walk. Now, you know the way I've been doing reviews recently, we're going to pick out 5 points here about this film that's either going to get you to see it or get you to miss it right now. So let's start with the fact that this is a straightforward story. We've actually received a large number of Stephen King adaptations over the years, and a lot more recently. Whether we're talking The Monkey, The Life of Chuck, The Running Man is coming up here very, very soon. We get a lot of Stephen King adaptations, but a lot of times these stories are a little bit more complicated than I think the average viewer is expecting. There's a lot of foresight and insight you have to have in these films and the story while you're working through them. A lot of times there's going to be little details that you need to pick up if you're going to get the full gambit of what's going on in a lot of King stories as well. They're greatly written books and short stories that have been adapted into countless movies and TV shows. But again, a large number of these are a bit complicated to kind of just sit down and take it at face value. Again, The Long Walk here is simple. 50 teenage boys are walking across America until there is only one survivor left. That survivor gets one wish of their wildest dreams and all the money they can ever ask for. There are no side quests, there are no tricks, there are no detours. That is it here. So if you're looking for something nihilistic and dystopian, this is obviously going to very much feed your appetite. And that's going to allow you to get to another level of immersion that you really do need here with this film. I think a lot of us are going to watch this, and by the end, we're very much going to be asking ourselves, what would we do if we were one of the boys competing in this competition? Because would we have the same morals? Would we be trying to help others, uplift others? Would we be trying to sabotage others just so we can win? Again, not a lot of extra fluff here to think about, and I don't mean that the story is simple. I just mean that it's a lot easier to keep along with every plot point that comes up and all the various characters that we're walking around. And sometimes, after you've had a phenomenal year of horror, you want something very straightforward to just sit down and enjoy. Point number 2, the cast. Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson are amazing in this film, and they're the best on-screen duo we've had this year that are not twins, played by Michael B. Jordan. This relationship is one that continues to grow and evolve and really gets deepened by the time we hit the end of this film. And that couldn't happen without an amazing script by J.T. Molnar and some fantastic chemistry between Hoffman and Johnson here. The fact that throughout the film, we see their characters, again, go from trying to help each other out, trying to uplift each other, to where they both kind of, one of them at least, gets into a mode of, well, obviously there's no reason why you would be helping me because there can only be one winner. So it doesn't benefit you to help me out at all. And I love the complexity of that relationship because that is something that you honestly really do have to think about. The fact that the more help that you provide here, that means your walk is a lot tougher. And the way that they navigate around this relationship between Hoffman and Johnson's characters and really thinking about what makes sense in order to not only win, but do what you can to help those around you, it provides a lot of conflict here in this story. And I don't know if it would have worked out so well without Hoffman and Johnson in these roles, honestly. You know, a lot of us saw David Johnson in Alien Romulus last year and we're very, very excited to see where he would keep going here in the world of horror. This is obviously another fantastic performance to add to this resume. Cooper Hoffman's no slouch himself, though. While I was not a fan of Licorice Pizza, loved his performance in that. So you have two great leads anchoring this down here. Of course, there's other boys in the cast here. You have Ben Wang, Charlie Plummer, Roman Griffin Davis, who you might know from Jojo Rabbit. So there are other people in like the main cast that you'll definitely recognize, but we are spending the grand majority of our time here with Hoffman's Garrity and Johnson's McBride. These are the main characters that we're ultimately focused on, and y'all, this movie is so good because of it too. Now, on to my next point. This film does not hold back. Again, the plot of this story is 50 teenage boys walking across America until there's one survivor left. The key word there is survivor. They might be the winner, but they are a survivor. That means 49 other boys have to die one way or the other in order for there to be a winner. And some of the ways that we see these kids get killed off in this film are really going to be heartbreaking. The movie does a fantastic job of getting you endeared, not just to Hoffman and Johnson's characters, but to a lot of the other boys walking with them as well. Like, you, of course, are likely going to find your favorite here amongst the group of boys that have been assembled, but make no mistake, that favorite is going to die, without question. And the movie does not hold back at all at depicting it. There are a variety of different deaths in this film, which kind of seems surprising, given, again, the plot is they're just walking and walking and walking, and we're staying on this road that they're walking on. But y'all, this movie is brutal, and it is mean as well. Like, it's an unfair film. The entire concept of it, knowing that we're culling a part of the population here, so one winner can enrich their family. This is dark material for sure. You need to be prepared for that when you come in, because you are going to see a lot of young men get killed off here in this film. And I noticed as each death kept piling up, my emotions were being run ragged as I was getting through each one, because I was so connected to every character that we are following around that none of them got easier. If anything, they got more and more and more sad as it kept on going. I found especially the one that caught me was Barkovich, who was played by Charlie Plummer, who spends his time antagonizing some of the boys at the beginning of this walk. And I'm not going to spoil how Barkovich ultimately ends up going out, but that one hit me pretty hard, honestly. The ramifications of him getting close to his death and what he's asking these other boys that are around him. This movie is absolutely not going to hold your hand as you walk through it, folks. Which takes me over to my fourth point, the supporting cast. So, talked about our main cast that we see here, and the simple truth is that if you're not one of these boys making the walk, you likely don't have much of a role here in this film. But there are two cast members that are very much worth pointing out due to the impact that their small moments on screen has to this story. And that's going to be Judy Greer as Garrity's mother. That's the mother of Cooper Hoffman's character. And Mark Hamill, who plays the Major. Now, again, both of these characters pop in and out throughout the entire story. And obviously, they're not walking in the competition itself, but each of them adds in more motivation here for why this walk is being done and the honest, objective horrors of competing in this. The fact that Garrity's mom, she is terrified to let her son go and do this. You know, they've already lost somebody incredibly important to them due to the regime that they live under. But the simple fact that she knows this is something that they need, yet she doesn't want to lose her son, you are in a real Sophie's choice at that point. And as Garrity points out to her, it's not her choice. This is something that he can absolutely choose for himself, regardless of her opinion on things. And that has to be breaking her heart as a mother, knowing that her son is likely walking to his death, and there is nothing at all that she can do to change that fate. The Major, on the other hand, is that continual presence that reminds the boys of their impending death. And I think it'd be so easy to look at it as like the Major embodies like the devil, or he embodies, you know, the angel that's letting you into the gates or the hell or whatever like that there. But honestly, it kind of seemed like that be just a little bit too on the nose, because the walk, the actual walk itself, if anything, is like the depiction of heaven and hell to me. That again, you can walk and walk and walk and get all this grand splendor out of it, whether it's new friends, an understanding of your life, an understanding of somebody else's life, finding out what's actually important. That's some of the good that you might get out of this. The bad of it is you're going to die. Everybody around you is going to die as well. And if they don't die naturally, they're going to be killed by the people that are facilitating this. So it seemed very much to me that like if you're calling the Major like the devil himself, that's just not all that accurate for it, honestly. He's the journeyman to get these boys there, but he's not the one actually doing the job here for the road, honestly. But again, both Greer and Hamill add so much impact to this story that honestly, it's kind of weird that you don't actually want to see them more in this film, because each time they pop up, it's so powerful, it's so impactful, and it definitely adds to, again, the insane competition that we're following along here. Now to my last point, because obviously I got to pick up something in this that didn't really gel with me too much, and that's going to be the ending. Now, I'm not going to give direct spoilers on who ultimately ends up winning this whole thing, but what I will say is that for not having read the book, I'm not really sure if the ending of it goes the exact same way, but the idea here is that ultimately it doesn't matter what the winner gets. They get this wish, they get all this money. What does that mean to a man if that man is not himself anymore? If this boy who has grown up over the course of this challenge doesn't resemble at all who he was at the beginning of this all, what does any of that mean in the least bit? What other life do you know at this point besides the walk? And the idea here that our winner just is lost at that point, that the walk is over and there is no clear path of what to do next except to keep walking. That is such disheartening. That is so sad and so heartbreaking to get to the end of it, and that being the only reward here for the winner. And it hits me, but the flip of it is the way it's kind of done seems rather anticlimactic compared to the buildup that we were given, just because there's so much emotion in these boys, specifically in Hoffman and Johnson's characters, that you kind of want something explosive at the very end. I don't mean some major gunfight or a monster or anything like that, but you just want a bigger showing, I guess, of emotion, more of a cathartic release for us, the audience, and it didn't feel that way at the end. And that's a lot for us to carry. We're walking through with all these boys and seeing so many of them die these miserable deaths and not wanting so many of them to die. We need this release at the end, and we just don't get it. So there is nothing terrible about this ending, but I do think where there are so many bright spots here in this script and in this story, I think that's kind of where it fell flat a little bit. So putting all of that together, The Long Walk definitely ended up being in my top 5 films of the year right now, and because of that, The Long Walk is ultimately going to get a 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is one that I liked immensely, y'all, and granted, it isn't perfect. What films really are, we don't get a lot of those here, but not for nothing, this is going to be one of the most powerful films that you watch all year, and definitely one of the better Stephen King adaptations we've seen in recent history. Now, The Long Walk is available for you to go and rent or purchase right now on most digital platforms. Go and check it out, get back to me, let me know in the comment section what your feelings are about this, and of course, make sure you're getting subscribed to my Linktree, as that's the best way to stay on top of all the content that I'm dropping for y'all. You can do that by going to linktr.ee/tscarymovie. If you hit subscribe, that's going to be access to the YouTube page for the video versions of the show, your favorite podcasting platforms, the audio-only versions of the show, my Letterboxd page for written reviews and movie rankings through the year, my TikTok page for short horror content, including movie news, movie reviews, and movie premieres, my Twitch page for horror gaming, including Phasmophobia, and my Fangoria shop page. You can enjoy a 20% discount off anything in the Fangoria shop. Take advantage of that, y'all. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, no matter where you are tuning in. Again, we got reviews coming up here over the next week for the season premiere of Welcome to Derry, the season premiere of The Talamasca. We're going to be looking into Queens of the Dead, Street Trash, the original Toxic Avenger. We're going to close all of that out before we get into November, folks. So make sure you're subscribed and make sure you're following. I appreciate you tuning in as always, but this is going to do it for me here tonight. My name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.